Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Mr. Thongchai Sangsiri from Electronic Transactions Development Agency, Thailand. He is employed at the Electronic Transaction Development Agency under the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society, Thailand. He is currently tasked with advising digital regulatory policies and international cooperation. His background is in the field of computer security, digital forensic technologies, cybersecurity policy development, and international collaboration. Prior to joining ETDA, he has spent 10 years in the public sector managing and supporting various governmental information and communication technology initiatives, including the Smart Citizen Identification Card, e-governance, the Government Data Exchange Standard, PKI deployment in the public sector, and various security awareness training programs. Mr. Sangsiri has a keen interest in digital technologies, public policy, and information security policy development. In international fora, he has served as the convener for the Security and Prosperity Steering Group from 2014 to 16 at the APEC Telecommunications and Information Working Group and represented the government of Thailand at a number of international fora. He led the development of an APEC framework for securing the digital economy at APEC. TELWG chaired the Asian Coordinating Committee on the E-commerce and is currently representing Thailand as a member of the Governmental Advisory Committee at ICANN. He has earned master's degree in electrical engineering and physics from the USA. Sir, kindly address.
My presentation today will cover two areas. One is the PKI and two is the digital ID. These two areas are quite interrelated. So let me go on to my first slide is the Thailand's details. Currently, we have only about 69 million, so it is quite small compared to India. I am sure that we have encountered similar challenges when we try to implement digital ID or implement the PKI. Another area that is quite beneficial to our implementation is that all Thai already assigned a 13-digit ID at birth. So that is the first identification number that all Thai citizens will be able to later on acquire a citizen ID or a smart card ID. And another statistic that I just decided to include is the Thais seem to spend quite a long hours on the internet. The latest survey done by my organization, Electronic Transaction Development Agency, found that we have spent over 10 hours a day on the internet. So the idea that the government should promote the use of accessing governmental services through online means is quite popular. So a lot of government are looking into how they could move their traditionally face-to-face services to online, or at least they should be able to what do you call EKYC, know your customer, be able to allow your customer to at least make a reservation, specify that this person will come in at such time, so that to allocate and make sure that we have the distancing, meet the social distancing requirement due to the COVID. And the last item I decided to show is that we are doing quite well in terms of ease of doing business ranking. We are moving up, and we are hoping this trend will continue. For the digital law landscape, maybe this is quite important because this is the foundation of what you can or what you cannot do. Thailand, along with a number of countries, have embarked on what we call revising our regulation and laws to accommodate the arrival of digital technologies. I would like to say that on this graph, you can see the different areas that are covered by our current digital laws. promoting, for example, trade facilitation, digital infrastructure, digital payment, secure ecosystem, consumer business trust, and also include some soft law, including standards or self-regulation agreements between a business or organization. The focus of today will be on the blue area of this slide. Electronic Transaction Act has been in effect since the year 2000. Over the past 20 years, this law has been revised 4 times to reflect the current needs. Just recently, we have revised it to include the digital identity requirement in order to provide safe and secure trusted service. The second area that in the blue area also is the Digital Government Act. This is also quite important for the digital transformation. Also in the blue area, but I couldn't fit it in the graph, is at the bottom you will see Digitalization of Public Administration and Service Delivery Act. This is a new act that become effective already. So in the past, in Thailand at least, the government will require citizens to come and prove that they are the person they claim to be. The citizen will have to bring in their citizen ID at minimum. Sometimes they will require to show a house registration, which is a different document. So now the government realized that this is not the way we should be doing, and we are requiring the government organization to be the one responsible to producing such evidence of identity, because of course government is the one who hold all the evidence already. So that would be the change that we have implemented, and hopefully it will be widely adopted across governments. Another area that maybe just to mention a little bit is at the bottom you see there are 2 more draft royal decree that are in the process of being enacted. These 2 laws cover, as I said, digital identity and also the digital platform services. These are the most current revision of our electronic transaction law and subordinate law to make sure that we are able to provide trust and secure services to citizens. On this slide, as I am here, I also want to point out that in the green color area, this is quite important because in order to provide service to citizens, the citizen must be assured that their data is protected, their security is taken care of. So these are the 3 main laws that are already in place. We believe that we are in a good position to implement PKI and Digital ID because we already have Cybercrime Act, Data Protection Act, and Cybersecurity Act. So let me go on to cover the first area of my presentation, which is the public key infrastructure. As you have seen in the previous speaker's slide, in Asia, there is an Asia PKI forum that we gather together to share information, share experience. Today, I will go into a little bit more detail of what Thailand has done and some of the examples that we have accomplished. For Thailand, my organization, Electronic Transaction Development Agency, we operate the Thailand National Route CA. We act as the trust anchor for Thailand. On the 2 sides of us, on the left-hand side, you can see that there are private sector certificate authorities. Currently, there are 2. They are providing for the commercial purpose. And on the right-hand side, we have state-owned enterprises who also operate as a certificate authority. And because currently we have a merging two state-owned enterprise, CAPCA and TOTCA. Now they become one company, which is a National Telecom Public Company Limited. So in the future, we are hoping that with the help of the NT, we will be able to set up a government CA in order to make sure that the entire ecosystem has supporting infrastructure. Some of the applications that I would like to share with the conference, there are three examples. One is the National Single Window, two is the EText Invoice, and three is the digital transcript. For the PKI application, as you know, that National Single Window is essentially the central linkage between government agencies who need to interact with a private business, importer, exporter, range logistics, for example. And this will cover both international and domestic agencies. So currently, the PKI application has been deployed. 32 government agency has integrated into the system for paperless custom procedure and other related logistic arrangement. 95 million transactions has been carried out through our NSW in 2020. And we know that the number will only go up as more organizations join, and also the business side also link up to exchange information through electronic means. And 7.8 million electronic licenses and certificates were issued in 2020. The second application is the one actually promoted by my own organization. Electronic Transaction Development Agency is one of the primary organizations who develops standards. So we develop standards for the EText Invoice. There are two types, as you can see. I would label them green and blue. Green is the EText invoice by email. This invoice are delivered from seller to the revenue department via emails. It has a time-stamping function. And currently, we only allow companies with annual revenue less than 30 million to join such EText invoice initiative. The second area in the blue is the EText invoice and receipt. This is done through EBXML format, and it can be sent also to the revenue department with three different means: host-to-host, service provider, or web browser. The PKI digital signature is supplied here, and it is applicable to any company who wish to join such initiative. And as you can see, that these two initiatives started from my organization, developed the standard format, has enjoyed the increased usage throughout the years since 2017 until 2021. The increase has been multifold, and we are hoping that this will help push the usage of PKI much further and get more private company to join this. If you drive down to the detail, you can see these two on your, actually these three examples are actual document. One is from the power company in the a little orange symbol. The blue symbol is from the water company, the water utilities. In Thailand, they both are enterprise, government enterprise. Now, on the right-hand side is the 7-Eleven receipt. You can also see that the EText invoice receipt can be issued by organization who wish to join us. And if you deep look into the document, you can see that these are machine readable. Accounting software can extract information from XML code embedded in the document. So this really help reduce the mistake by human who may mistype or mishandling document. So this is a big advantage that we try to sort of promote the usage among more companies, more sectors. The last application that we think is also quite successful is the digital transcript. As you know, every year we have a university graduate who will have to look for a job, will have to submit the document evidence of their transcript to job for job application or applying for scholarship or just submit it to verify their performance. This is one of the applications that we think should be able to sustain in the long run also. We have this just started actually last year, December last year. We already have 39 universities join this initiative. Sorry. More than 1,000 digital transcript issued in 2021 alone. Also, we are collaborating with different business association, Thai Banking Association, to make sure that the real use case is beneficial and try to convince more organization to go the digital way in order to reduce the mistake, reduce fraudulent document, right? Because this is digital, you can confirm what it is. Let me just let me just go on to digital ID. Just 2-3 minutes. I have okay. Yes, for the regulatory measure related to digital identity, as I has said earlier, is based on the Electronic Transaction Act in 2000 and has evolved over the years until 2021. These are some of the standards that my organization has published in order to help promote the utilization and adoption of the digital ID. This is in support of earlier, we already have the PKI initiative. For the digital ID, I just want to say that the concept, the core concept is probably similar. You need to establish the confidence for the level of confidence and assurance. We have already developed that. As you can see, the document, this is the document we published in 2014 to the ASEAN. So in the ASEAN, this is one of the documents that we refer to. Sorry. This is what I want to also introduce, that in order to implement such assurance level, we in Thailand, we have developed into different level depending on what usage it is and what level of assurance you require. For example, at the IAL1, at the minimum, you can just collect identity information without verifying identity, no identity ownership. In simple word, such as your username and password, and then nobody is asking you, do you really own that account? Because this is not necessary for IAL1. Up to IAL3, that is the highest level. You have to confirm with multiple factors. You have to go on to connect to a real-time system, verification system. We have, for example, Ministry of Interior has a citizen database where you can connect and confirm identity. They will confirm what likelihood of the match for you, for example. In the application for such identity assurance level can be displayed on the next slide. This is the example of identity assurance level 2.3 usage in the financial sector. Currently, we all have already issues digital identity to citizens who want to open a bank account via online means. Once you verify who you are, you can open multiple bank accounts in other branches or other bank based on the previously confirmation that you have done before. Digital identity can also use to perform eKYC function. It can be used to verify identity in accordance to the IAL recommendations, which I showed earlier. It can also fulfill eKYC and KYC requirements if you need to. These are some of the examples that digital identity come into play, and Thailand is in the process of promoting the adoption of both the PKI and digital identity. Oh, okay. That is my actually last slide. I hope that I captured everything in time. Thank you very much, and I would like to hand back the microphone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for covering the PKI developments and digital identity in context of Thailand. And thank you. Wish we could join you for next sessions also in future.